refugee virgin, and she's got a husband and 2 kids.
Nobody told me about her, the way she lied. Nobody told me about her, how many people cried. But it's too late.
18 months ago, Norma Khoury was only too happy to talk about her book, Forbidden Love. But is she, in fact, a woman recounting a tragic true story or an opportunistic writer inventing tales?
This is a fantastic hoax. This is the first great literary hoax of the 21st century.
Better to lose your life than lose your reputation.
Dahlia did not exist because Khoury was not in Jordan when the events of the book took place.
Nicht die erste Lügengeschichte, die in letzter Zeit in den Buchhandel kam.
Embarrassed too will be the publishers who bought a story so completely they didn't feel the need to check whether any of it was true.
Beyond the one-page statement, Random House would only say it's awaiting the author's response with some interest and urgency.
Norma Khoury grew up in Chicago, not in Jordan, and her secret double life includes a husband and children living with her on Queensland's Bribie Island.
That's what got me, was the kids were hers and John was really a husband and all this, especially when she was telling me that the kids weren't hers. She told me their mother was a prostitute and that she didn't want to have nothing to do with the kids, and they were abandoned when they were only about 3 years of age. And that's when she came along and blah, blah, blah.
It was an Oscar-winning performance. I interviewed her 3 times, and she snowed me each time.
Yeah, well, it did sadden me because I'd just written a song about it, something that meant a lot to me, so it was sad to think that I maybe had written something that wasn't true.
I felt betrayed professionally. You know, look at this quote from Jean Sassoon. This extraordinary true story is well told and impossible to put down. Well, is it a true story?
Our team in Australia wanted to hear from her that what Malcolm had suggested wasn't true. But she didn't meet with them. She sort of went to ground.
At the family's canal front home on Bribie Island, the one that neighbours call the American house, the curtains are tightly drawn and there is no sign of the author, her husband or their 2 teenage children.
I think it was about 9 o'clock that she rings me and she said, Rach, there's media out the front of the house, can you grab the kids? Get them out and get them to your place. Right, she says, I'm going to America. I've got stuff over there I need to get to clear my name. And asked me if I could help financially assist her to go over there. And she promised she'd pay me back. So I booked it all in my name through Qantas and put her on the plane to America. Now kids, stay down. Stay down. Zoe was upset. She couldn't see her friends anymore. Chris was upset, same. All of a sudden, they had a life. And then the next minute, they never even had a home.
Since the truth of her story was first called into question, there has been no sighting of Norma Khoury. Her lawyers say they've spoken to her and she will face her public.
Let's hope that she tells the story of what motivated her, but whatever she does, the truth will come out.
How can you believe anything about her? Where can she go and hold her head up high? Because she's lied to so many people.
I lied for a reason.
Is your first name Norma?
Yes.
Is your book, Forbidden Love, based on the life and death of a real and personal friend of yours?
Yes.
Were you in Jordan the years that your friend was killed?
Yes. It wasn't my ultimate dream to be published. I didn't do this to become an author. I did this with the intention of creating the awareness, and I didn't care how it was done. I would have spun anything to get Dahlia's story out there. My lie is, I didn't tell you about the fact that I lived in the U.S. and in Jordan, and I went back and forth between the 2 countries. I'm not lying about the fact that she existed and that she was murdered. When all of this started, my main reason for coming back here to the U.S. was to actually pull my old U.S. passport. This is just some of the entry and exit visas of my going in and out of Jordan. I've got more visas in this one passport alone, more than King Abdullah's probably got.
Everything is legit with you as far as being a citizenship, right?
Yeah.
Everything's legit?
Yes.
All right. Other than that, she passed the test.
That's what infuriated me more than anything about what Malcolm had done. By saying that I left the country in '73 and never returned until 2000, that completely discredited the entire story. He sent me an email saying, why don't you just put an end to it and just say it was fiction, and you got caught up in the excitement of a bestseller and this and that. And I said, Malcolm, I will never do that. I'll apologize to my readers for not having told them that I'm a dual citizen, but I will never say that Dahlia did not exist, and I will never say that this is a made-up story, because it's not.
What I remember is that the material that she sent to us was pretty flimsy, it didn't prove anything.
But I actually did a book on lie detectors where the conclusion was lie detector tests don't work at all.
One of the things was proving that she was herself Jordanian. Well, fine. I mean, I'm sure she was born in Jordan, but she went to America when she was a girl and was educated in Illinois.
Now, is Norma Khoury and Forbidden Love a hoax?
No, it's not.
But it's not your true story. It's not a memoir, is it?
No, it is my memoir. I did change a lot of details to protect people involved. I was in Jordan at the time that she was killed. I chose to write only about my time in Jordan, and I have literary license to do so.
Norma had signed a contract with a publisher in which she actually stated, as one of the clauses in the contract, that all statements contained therein purporting to be facts are true. And she signed that.
We could have taken the decision to rebrand it, I suppose, as fiction, but I don't think that would have been immoral. Here we were facilitating tens of thousands of one-to-one relationships between Norma Khoury and her readers, and Norma Khoury turns out not to be the person we thought she was. I think the only responsible thing to do is just stop selling.
Forget me. This book was not about me. This book was to create the awareness of the existence of these laws and this practice. And if people did their own research, take 5 minutes to do your own research, you'll find out that these crimes are happening at a much greater rate than the majority of these countries are publicizing.
Jordan is a beautiful country, but unfortunately, they have old minds. Real, honorable men love, respect their women, and protect them. They don't sit there and butcher them. And if you're nice to a woman all the time, you know, I mean, how can you go wrong?
In my opinion, there's two types of Greeks. You've got your Playboy Islander Greeks, and you've got your dark-skinned Greeks. Well, John's your Playboy Greek. He's a charmer, an absolute charmer, but piss him off and he'll turn you into shark bait.
This is the place where I come down and think sometimes. The smell and the aromas of the flowers alone are very relaxing. I never imagined things would take a turn the way they did, and everybody would go against Norma for doing the right thing. Norma's my heroine, and I love her actually for having the guts that she does to go out there and make a difference. Like somebody said one time, no good deed goes unpunished. and that's Norma's life.
Norma, Random House have dumped your book. They've apologised to 200,000 Australians who bought it. How do you react to that?
Yes, I will never call that book a novel. All names in the books were changed to protect the people that did know Dahlia and do still live there in the same locations.
Do you still believe that you would be killed by male relatives if you went back to Jordan?
Yes, I do believe that. When I first wrote the book, I changed as much as I could because I knew that the Jordanian government would not like me writing this book. And I kept out the fact that I was married and that I was even in the U.S., which I believed would make it easier for them to track down who I really was. That's why I did all of that.
She's fantastic. Even now I'm sort of, you know, being pulled into the make-believe of it.
Do you want the truth or what I said? I wasn't running around Australia pretending to be a Jordanian virgin. If I was ever asked if I was married, I always replied I was married to the cause. I had never...
But that's still saying you could be a virgin.
That's their assumption. That's not me saying it. I don't believe that I've done anything that any other parent wouldn't do to protect their children, even if they had to sit there and say, no, I'm not a mother.
That was the big, bald, bold lie. That was the big, dirty lie, because this is disowning your own children. As a mother of two, and I think that's probably one of the more appalling deceptions.
The children both told me, Daddy, what's going to happen to us now? You know, I mean, is somebody going to kidnap us, you know? Are our lives in danger? You know, Mommy's life is in danger. How about our lives?
They were locked in the house. It was like they were in a prison. They couldn't go out the front. As much as they died to want to go out the front, because they'd see kids up the street playing all the time. They couldn't even go back to school and say goodbye to their friends. It was the Muslims that we were scared of.
thanks to Malcolm, and I want the whole world to know. Thank you, Malcolm, and his colleagues. You know, they brought my children into this